and welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about everything that is bookish and movie related. Today I'm going to be telling you about 26 books that I want to read in 2026. So the first one that I want to read is Murder in the Family. This is by Cara Hunter and this is a book that I got in my advent calendar this year. This is about Luke Ryder, who was found dead in October of 2003 and he left behind 3 stepchildren and an older wealthy widow. Years later, a true crime show digs deep and finds out what really happened to Luke. I'm so excited about this one. I've not heard of this author before. I think it's quite a hefty book as well, but it's got like interviews and stuff like that, so that's quite exciting. Next one is Grown Ups by Marian, and I've never read a book by this author, but I have 2 books by her. This is one of them, and this is again quite a hefty book. However, this one is about Jesse, Cara and Nell, and they're both married to brothers Johnny, Ed and Liam. Go to like a party, I think it's a family party, and secrets spill out. So I'm so excited to see what is unveiled in this book. I've then got The Worst Best Man by Lucy Score. I have read the Knockmount series by this author and I absolutely loved it, so I'm so excited to dive into this one. I think this one follows the maid of honor Francesca, and basically the groom gets kidnapped and she has to work together with the best man to solve like what has happened. I think it's quite a different one to what Lucy Scott actually writes. Then got One Day. This is by David Nicholls and I'm so excited to finally read this one. I haven't watched the series. I've heard that it's a really good series, so I'm so excited to read this, and it follows Emma and Dexter meet for the first time on their graduation and tomorrow they go their separate ways. I'm so excited to go into this one blind. Then got Off Track by Isha Patel, and this is a F1 romance book. I'm so excited for this one. I have read a F1 romance book last year, however I feel like I need to pick another one up, so this is one that I'm going to be pick up, and it follows Diana and Miguel. And I've got 3 Freida books. I've got The Locked Door, Never Lie and Do Not Disturb. Locked Door follows 11-year-old Nora Davis, and she never knew that her father was killing women in the basement, and then one day the police arrive and Nora's father is now spending his life behind bars. And then years later another person dies in the same way his father killed his victims, and basically everyone points the fingers at Nora. Do Not Disturb is about Quinn Alexander, who commits a unthinkable crime. She tries to make a run for it, but then she unexpectedly gets stuck in a snowstorm and has to take a room in the Baxter Motel from Nick Baxter, and basically Baxter Motel isn't as safe as it could be. So the final book that I want to read by Freida is Never Lie. This is about newlyweds Trisha and Ethan and searching for the house of their dreams, and they finally find a house that was owned by Dr. Adrian Hale, a psychiatrist who vanished without a trace. I feel like with Freida books I can just fly through them, so that is why I've picked 3 of her books to read in 2026. Next one is another short book. This is by E. Lockhart and this is the same person who wrote We Were Liars. This one's called Drama Rama. I've got quite a few books by this author, so I'm excited to get into this one, and I feel like this is a book that I'm going to fly through because the words are so like spread out on the pages, and it is only a small book. I think it's just 300 pages. So it's about 2 theatre geeks, 1 boy, 1 girl, 1 gay, 1 straight, 1 black, 1 white. I feel like it's just going to be one of them teenage YA books that you're just going to absolutely love for the characters and not the plot. And then I've got The Nurse by J.A. Corrigan, and this is about Rose Marlowe, who's a hard-working nurse and she's also a merciless killer, and despite her confession no one believes her because no one believes that she could kill any patient. It follows Theo, who's a journalist, and he's convinced there's more to what happened than what Rose is telling. I feel like it's just going to be like The Silent Patient, but I could be wrong. Then I've got a screenplay called The Counsellor by Cormac McCarthy, and I'm so excited about this. It's about a lawyer who's seduced by the desire to get rich in order to impress his fiancée, and he becomes involved in a risky drug smuggling venture. Then got a Holly Jackson book. This is The Reappearance of Rachel Price, and this is about 18-year-old Belle who's lived her whole life in the shadow of her mum's mysterious disappearance. And 16 years ago Rachel vanished and Belle was the only witness, and Rachel is gone and presumed dead. Case is dragged up from the past and Belle can't wait for the filming to end, but then Rachel reappears. So I'm so excited. I hope that's not a spoiler, but that's what it says in the blurbs. I feel like that's going to be a good one because I have read Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson and I absolutely loved it, so I'm so excited to read another book by her. Then got The Goddess Crown. This is about Callitha, who's been raised in hiding, safe from the reach of the king, and then one day assassins strike. This book was actually given to me by a blinded date with the books, and I feel like I just need to diversify my reading, and that's why I picked this one up to read in 2026. Then got The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This has been on my TBR for the longest time. I was meant to read it last year, I was meant to read it the year before, and I just didn't get around to reading it, so I've put it on my 26 books I'm going to read for 2026. I feel like I'm just gonna either love it or hate it. I really hope that I love it. So I think she passes through lives and then she goes into a small bookshop in Manhattan and meets Henry, who remembers her after 300 years. I've then got another F1 romance. I've got Ride With Me by Simone Sultani, and I actually read the first book in this series, so I feel like it's only right for me to finish this series. This one follows Stella Baldwin and Thomas Maxwell. I've then got a Cara McManus book. I managed to read like 4 of her books last year, I want to say. This year I'm going to read Who Can Keep a Secret. This is about a town in the Canadian border, and basically Sarah Corcoran vanished walking home from the library, and then 5 years ago homecoming queen Lacey was found dead in a Murderland Halloween park. Now the killer claims to be back. It's just like One of Us Is Lying, so I'm so excited for that. I've then got Everything I Never Told You, which is about a Chinese American family living in 1970 in Ohio, and Lydia is a favourite child, and basically her parents like are sure that she's gonna succeed in everything in life that they were unable to succeed in, and then her body is found in a local lake. I've never read anything by this author, so I'm so excited to dive into this one. I've then got Coco Mellor's Cleopatra and Frankenstein, and this is set in New York, so I'm hoping I like it. I've had this on my shelves for absolutely years, so I feel like it's only right for me to now pick it up. Leo is 24, she's at a different party every night, and she's got a student visa that's running out. However, Frank is successful and 20 years older, and then he gives her the security that she needs. I'm not too sure about age gap romances. And then I've got Really Good Actually, which follows Maggie, who is just a recently divorcee, having been married for 608 days, and picks up 9 hobbies, eats hamburgers at 4 AM and gets back out there. About her refinding her life, and I really want to fall in love with the character of Maggie. Then got Magpie by Elizabeth Day. This is about Marissa and Jake, and basically they're in a relationship, and then this lady Kate comes in and sort of she gets in Marissa's head. Again, I've had this one on my bookshelf for the longest time. I absolutely love this edition of it. I think it's so pretty. Then got this massive chunk of a book, A Little Life by Hanya Yangaria, and I'm so excited to read this one. I actually bought it on my Kindle because I'm that determined to read it, because I feel like the size of the actual physical copy is putting me off, but with me buying it on my Kindle I can actually fly through it. I feel like that's more like logic. I don't know if that's the right logic, but that's the logic I'm going for. Definitely wanting to read this one. I might put it on my January TBR and just go with it. Just feel like I need to get this one done, because again it's been on my shelf for the longest time. Then got The Honeymoon. So this is about the honeymoon of a newlywed couple, and basically there is another newlywed couple at the resort. A dead body is found. Again, it's another thriller. I feel like I just fly through thrillers more, and I want to get my TBR down as much as possible, so I feel like reading thrillers first is what's gonna allow me to do that. I've got Ready Player 2. I read Ready Player 1 last year and I fell in love with everything about it. I love the characters, and I actually love the film as well. I thought it was really good. I'm excited to finally read Ready Player 2. I've heard it's not as good as the first one, however I've got like a stunning physical copy, so I really need to read this one. I feel like it's just that it's just completed once I've read it. About Small Pleasures, I feel like again diversifying my reading. This is about 1957 on the suburbs of southeast London. Jean is a journalist on the local paper, and then you've got a young woman, Gretchen Tilbury, contacts the paper to claim that her daughter is the result of a virgin birth. It's down to Jean to discover whether she's a miracle or a fraud, basically giving like Virgin Mary vibes. Then I've got Shattered by Terry. I've read the first 2 books in the trilogy, which are amazing. The Slated trilogy is amazing. If you haven't checked that one out, check it out. It is dystopian. I don't want to say too much about this book because I feel like I'll give spoilers for the first 2 books, but this is about Kyla, who was slated. Her mind was wiped clean by the government, and basically when you're slated because you've committed a crime, and then you're given like an extra sort of life to live, but you don't remember anything that happened previous. It's basically discovering what is going on in her life. The 3rd book hopefully reveals everything that happens, and I'm enjoying the story so far, so I'm so excited to finally read this and finish this trilogy off. And the final book that I want to read is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I haven't read an Emily Henry book ever, so I'm excited to finally pick one up. I've had this book again for the longest time. I just can't wait to read this one. I feel like this is like people's favourite, so I feel like I'm going in strong, and I do want to pick up more of her books, so I definitely cannot wait to read this one. That was 26 books I want to read in 2026. Please let me know what's on your list and if you have done a reading list for 2026 or not.